Hello and welcome. This is Jim Koppman with Rankin Technical College. This video is about walking through, kind of previewing the two hands-on tests for Bootstrap. So the first one here is a actually it's a group of 3 pages about a fictional business. And the first one would be the index. You'd create one for an index.html, which is your home page. The next one is a products HTML page, and the final one is a team HTML page. I'm not going to go through code or anything for this. I'm just going to be just a quick little walkthrough. There's basically the screenshots of somewhat how the kind of somewhat should be look like. So here's the screenshot for the index page. This one here is for the product page, and the bottom one here is for the team page. Okay. So you'll be using the different technologies here, and there's links to them. You got your Jumbotron here, a Bootstrap grid, Bootstrap cards. It has specifics on what you need to do with that. Also has a text shadow as well. And so I'm just going to go ahead and go through a few of these. I'm going to go through a few previous students' websites just so you can see what they kind of did, just to kind of give you an idea. So here's one's Matt's Burgers and Dogs. You got the home, products, and team. And you may not be able to see real easily, but on the home here is actually using an active class. So that's one of Bootstrap's classes that you can put on a link on your A tags, right? So for the A tag, the anchor tag for home, it has active class. So it's a little bit darker here. You may not be able to see it really well, but it is a little bit darker. Now, sometimes if you use different colors and stuff and darker shades and that, then you'll be able to see it a little better. But this one does have the active class on the home. Here's the Jumbotron. And then here is a grid of 3 here. And you've got your footer at your bottom here. Obviously, you make this smaller here, and your navigation should be like this, right? And this is kind of the default out of the box for Bootstrap, so that should work. But then here, down here, and your Jumbotron should also be responsive. So here you can see it, it got a little smaller here and looks good. And then here's your grid. Now you're down to a single column for your grid, okay, as opposed to 3 here. So I think it told you go from 3 down to 1. So here's an example. So this was an example of this Matt's Burgers and Dogs. Show you a couple other ones here. Here's one for Pokemon. Same thing. Got an active link, active class on the anchor tag for home there. Got a Jumbotron here for the Pokemon cards. Oh, and I guess I also forgot to mention they did use, like it requests in the hands-on test, to have a shadow. So there's a little shadow here. You might not see it real well. And then there is also, I think, looks like a little bit of shadow. There is shadow here as well. So that was one of the things it asked you to do. Same thing here. Here's your grid at the bottom. Okay. Here is the products page. I guess I really didn't go through the products page on this one. So here's the products page. Another Jumbotron. You can see the shadow of the text there. It's got a little bit of formatting. Did a couple little things different here. A little formatting, slight formatting issues. No big deal. But then if you go ahead and make this smaller, you should see it go from 4 down to 2. And then down to 1 for smaller screens. And obviously the navigation's working correctly for the smaller screens as well. And then let's look at this one here. products page starts out with 4. And then if we make it a little smaller, let's see, it goes down to 2 and then down to 1. So that looks good. Okay. And then there's a Teams page, and here you've got, I believe it says start with, let's see, let's make sure for team. Yeah, so it's going to be side by side, 2 side by side here. And then when you, let's see, just want to make sure when you go down, and then smaller screens, 1 per row, right? So if we're going to make this a little smaller, then you go down to one per row. Looks good. Let's see how this works here. Let me go to products page. I am on products page. No, wrong page. Teams page. So you start out with 2 and a smaller screen. It will go down to 1. Okay. So it's fine if you can find if you can find some pictures for staff and that's fine. Real quick here, I will show you a couple places you can get some sample images to use, kind of placeholders. So this site here, placehold.co. So here's some different images, and it has, sizes here. And you can actually create your own by doing this. Let me show you. So the size of a specific width and height, you click this, copy. Well, basically, you just go ahead and drop this in here. Let me do it another tab, though. So you basically drop that in there. It'll make it by 600 by 400. I think you can just change this right in here real quick. Let me see. So, oh, yeah, 200 by 200. I thought I put a 4 in here. Maybe I didn't. Yeah. So you can actually change it. You change it right here and there in the address bar itself. So it'll make whatever size you need, pixel wise. Okay. Let me do the one more. Let me do a 3 by 3 and see. So there you go. You can do that, or you can come here and create. You can change it in here and then copy it as well. So different options on that. Let me see if I can find something else here. Here's some images with color as well. So this is black here. But you can change the color of the image as well. If you want to change this up here. So this is so you can reverse this. That's one way to do this. So here now you've got a white background and black text, right? Then you can play with these. You can put different color, different hex colors, the hex codes in here for the different colors, and it'll actually use those colors as well. So that's another option if you want to do that. Let me find some icons for you. I think there's some people icons. So you can go to Wikimedia Commons, okay? Kind of an offshoot from wiki pages, right? Here you can just go ahead and search for persons placeholders, and you have a lot of different options here. You can play around with that. They also have licenses. If you, maybe best just to do the no restrictions, and you can copy these different images. All right. You might have to play around on getting them. Obviously, if you can get some other images somewhere else, that's fine as well. Just kind of just a different option if need be. Okay. They do have some interesting ones here as well. So okay. So I guess that's about it for the Bootstrap 3, this Hot 3. Just go through this. Like I said, I really can't, help you with the coding or anything. If you have any other questions about the directions or that, please reach out. I think it's pretty explanatory, self-explanatory here, so you should not have any problem with that. So let's go ahead and look at the other Bootstrap hands-on test. Okay, for this other hands-on test, what this is going to be about your favorite food. The other one, the other Bootstrap hands-on test, pretty much a regular one where you got multiple pages and that, kind of a regular website. This is more just a collage of things. So you're actually like creating a row with 5 columns and dropping things in there. Okay. And then so it's gonna you're pretty much starting this out by creating a grid with 5 columns, and then each column should be spaced evenly, and then smaller screens should just have a single column. Okay, so let's go take a look at that. Well, since we're here, so the first column is going to have an accordion. Second column is going to have a list group. Okay, and there's links to all of these Bootstrap links. Each of these list items should be a badge. Okay. Third column, add a responsive image. So you'll have to research a responsive image. So actually here I went ahead and grabbed a link for this. So I'll just add that here. So you can just click on that and I'll show you. Let's see, make sure this is working right. So this is a responsive image and I'll tell you how to do that. So, okay. So the third column is going to be responsive image. Fourth column is a modal. In the fifth column, you add a paragraph with a span tag. Style the text in the span tag as a Bootstrap heading. And then the next thing, so that's the 5 columns, and then down after that, you're going to have a carousel with controls and indicators. After that, you're going to implement custom cards with a background image of food of your choice. And then we're going to do a grid icon, a icon of grids. And so actually, if you go to this link, and then I think you scroll down to the bottom, this is kind of showing you an icon grid here. Okay, you can just do the icons themselves, or you can go ahead and put some text like it is in here. This is an icon grid. And then create a page with a web form. Then add a web form. You can include all this stuff all in one page. If you want to create a separate page, that's fine. It does say create a page, but I think these other ones are just on the same page. These examples I'm going to show you. And then create a 3-column footer, okay, with a copyright, logo, and nav elements. All right. It's going to kind of look like this. And so let's go ahead and look at some examples here. Okay, so here's one for favorite food. So we're doing 5 different columns, right? So the first one was an accordion. You click this, right? It's going to expand. It's going to hide and expand. It's an accordion here. Here's the list items, okay? And it's using the badges. All right. Here is a responsive image. And so you should see this. I don't know if that's really working quite like it should, but that's okay. But this is a responsive image, and here is a modal pop-up. Click it, and it'll pop up a little message. That's a modal pop-up. Okay. And the fifth one, what would we do with the fifth one? Wasn't that the heading here? Fifth one is a paragraph with a span, and the span's using a heading. Okay, and then we have a carousel down here. sometimes depends on what your picture is. Sometimes you can't always see the arrows. You know, it all depends on if you have something very light colored, you're not going to see those. They can actually be styled to be different colors and everything else, but by default, they're always going to be this, you know, kind of this white little arrows, you know. So and so them are that, and then also you've got your indicators down here as well. Okay, so that's your carousel, and then down here you got a group of 3, and then obviously if you make this smaller, it should go down to, let's see where we're going, from 3 down to 1. So there you go on that. Smaller, I believe it says 1 on the thing. Let me verify. It really doesn't say specifically that. Okay. And then just a basic form. You've already did the form assignment. This should be simple for you for that. And then here's the footer part where you've got your copyright. So there's 3 columns here. Here's your copyright. Here's a image. Here's an icon, not an image, an icon. There's all kinds of Bootstrap icons. You can search for Bootstrap icons. Then over here, you got some navigation links, right? That's what it asks you to do here for that. 3-column footer, copyright, a logo. So you just put an icon in the middle there, and then your nav elements. Okay. And there are your Bootstrap icon of choice. All right, so let's look at a different one here. That was what, the favorite food one, the pizza one, and same thing here. Just this student did a little more on this. You got multiple accordions. So you got your list with your badges. Here's your image, responsive image. So this should change. I'm not sure that everyone did this. Oh yeah. So you make this so it took up more space because it's in a single column. So this looks good. Since it's a single column, it's going to take up more space for a reactive image, right? Reflexive image is going to take up more. So that's good. Here's your modal. That looks good. So the modals, there's different options there. Here's one where you can do save changes, close. There's different options, or it could just be a pop-up, whatever you want to do on that. There, another carousel, looks good here. I think he's missing the things down here. That's okay. But yeah, here's your carousel. And then his form, and here he's got the grid of icons. So there's that. And this bottom part looks good. Okay. Here's another one, all similar. Let's see if they got the responsive images correct. So that looks good. It's responsive, so it'll be bigger when you're using 1 column as opposed to the 5 columns. So that looks good. Nothing there, but that's okay. Don't look like he used the heading there on that one. Here's the carousel. It's okay if some of your images. It's best, obviously, for your images to be the same. And in a real world scenario, you really want your images to be the same when you got a carousel, just because it's going to work better. It's going to, be more user friendly. But that's okay if it's not. So yeah, these ones at the bottom, you should actually be able to click on this and go to the next image as well. Okay. Either way. Same thing there. Okay, just drop some images on the down here. Probably best to be a few more. Get a grid of icons, a little more than 3. Everything else, I guess, is fine. Here's your Bootstrap form, and at the bottom, you've got the 3 parts, 3 columns to your footer down here. So that looks good. So that was just some examples there. Let me know if you have any questions about the directions for the hands-on test. Obviously, I can't help you with the coding itself, but I think there's pretty self-explanatory here. It has a lot of links to different resources that you need as well, so that should really help you out. Okay, so that's all I have. Have a great day.